The concept of voting can be simple, picking one candidate or another, voting yes or no on issues like property taxes. But many ballots are not that easy to understand, especially ballot questions that are often wordy and complicated. Chris Stewart met with a leading expert on ballots about why ballot questions are often so complicated.
So I'm gonna sneak behind you and get into this box, which is my secret box of hundreds of ballots. So here we go, it should be in here.
I've met few people who look at ballots the way Whitney Quisenberry does.
When you take a first glance at a ballot, how quickly can you determine whether it's a good one or not?
Pretty fast.
What are the key things that you look at?
I look at text size, right? Is it large enough to readable? Is it a good clear font that's easy to read? I'm looking for line spacing, right? Easy to read text size, good line spacing.
Out of this home office, she runs the Center for Civic Design.
Our motto is democracy is a design problem.
The group works with election offices in both red and blue states to make ballots more user-friendly. She's currently researching what trips voters up.
The most common thing for them to tell us is that they were baffled by the questions.
Just take the abortion rights question that Kansas voters recently faced on their August ballot. One question, 240 words in all. Voting yes would have meant supporting restricting the right to an abortion through a change to the state's constitution.
It was one of those that I find hardest because you have to repeal something to make something happen.
Then there's this one Texas voters faced in May. 77 words asking whether the amount elderly and disabled people pay in property taxes should be capped. Technically, this is one sentence.
Which means that someone who doesn't read well, someone who doesn't read English well, someone who may not understand our system of government and the details of how laws get passed, might have trouble.
As far as who writes questions, Whitney says it varies by state, either those in state legislatures or citizen groups who receive enough signatures to get it on a ballot.
There's no reason not to. There's nothing that says that a law has to be written in confusing language. It's just habit. It's habit of the legal profession. It's how laws work. You think you're being very grown up to use all those big words.
Do you feel that some questions are confusing on purpose?
I am sure there are questions that are confusing on purpose. I think, or they're either deliberately confusing on purpose or they're written in a way that puts the framers of them in the best possible light.
Whitney's work is having an impact. For example, this fall, Georgia absentee voters will see a cleaner list of rules before they sign their ballot. Bullet points and fewer words.
It says exactly the same thing. We didn't change the law. We didn't change what it has to say. We changed how it said it.
As far as how we can all have a smoother voting experience the next time we face a ballot,
I would urge you to look at multiple sources, right? So that you're not just getting one viewpoint, and then find the combination of them that help you make the decision. But you can't do it standing in the ballot box. I mean, when you're there, you've got a couple of minutes, you're marking your ballot. That's not the time to start parsing out that sentence. This is something you really have to make a plan for. And if you think it's too hard, tell your state legislator.
I'm Chris Stewart reporting.